Anxiety can feel like a weight on your chest, suffocating your peace and holding you back from living the life you deserve. But what if I told you there are simple, proven ways to take control of your mind and overcome that weight? Today, I'm going to guide you through 15 powerful lessons that will help you master your anxiety and reclaim your life. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's dive into this journey together. Lesson 1. Understand the root of your anxiety. Before we can overcome anxiety, we must understand it. Anxiety isn't just stress. It's your brain's way of reacting to a perceived threat, whether real or imagined. Recognize that anxiety is a natural response, a mechanism meant to protect you. But in today's world, where we're bombarded with challenges like work pressure, social media comparison, or personal struggles, our anxiety can become chronic and overwhelming. Think of your mind like an alarm system. The alarm is good when there's a real danger, but if it goes off every time a leaf falls on your lawn, that's a problem. Today's lesson is about understanding why your alarm system is so sensitive. Take a moment to reflect. What's setting off your alarm? Is it fear of failure, social rejection, or a traumatic past experience? Understanding the triggers is the first step toward taming them. Lesson 2. Deep breathing techniques. One of the most effective ways to manage anxiety in the moment is by controlling your breath. Anxiety often makes us breathe shallowly, sending signals to our brain that we're in danger. By practicing deep, slow breathing, you tell your brain that you are safe. Exercise 4 to 7 to 8. Breathing. This technique is simple but powerful. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Let's try it together now. Feel how the deep breaths help calm your nervous system. Studies have shown that people who practice deep breathing regularly can lower their cortisol levels, the stress hormone, within minutes. For instance, athletes like Michael Phelps use controlled breathing before a big race to calm their nerves and stay focused. You can apply the same technique before a stressful meeting or social event. Lesson 3. Challenge your negative thoughts. Anxiety often stems from irrational thoughts. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if something terrible happens? These thoughts can spiral and feed into your anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, teaches us to challenge these thoughts. Imagine you have a big presentation at work tomorrow. The thought pops up, I'm going to mess this up, and everyone will think I'm incompetent. Instead of letting that thought fester, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? What's the evidence that I'll fail? Most of the time, you'll realize that your anxiety is exaggerating the risks. Grab a pen and paper and write down one anxious thought. Now challenge it. Write down all the reasons this thought might be inaccurate or exaggerated. You'll be surprised how effective this simple exercise can be at reducing anxiety. Lesson 4. Reframe your thinking. Once you've challenged your negative thoughts, it's time to reframe them into something more constructive. This doesn't mean lying to yourself, but rather adopting a mindset that empowers you. Let's go back to the presentation example. Instead of thinking, I'm going to mess this up, reframe it to, I've prepared for this, and even if it's not perfect, I'll do my best and learn from the experience. This shift in thinking transforms anxiety into a manageable situation. Next time you feel anxious, pause and consciously reframe your thoughts. With practice, you'll be able to rewire your brain to think more positively, rather than letting anxiety take control. Lesson 5. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness helps you stay grounded in the present moment, which is critical when dealing with anxiety. Anxiety thrives when your mind is stuck in the past or worrying about the future. By practicing mindfulness, you teach yourself to focus on the here and now. Exercise. Mindful breathing. Take a few moments to focus only on your breath. Close your eyes and feel the air fill your lungs as you breathe in, and the tension leaving your body as you breathe out. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your chest. Whenever your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. Mindfulness isn't just for yogis. CEOs like Mark Benioff of Salesforce credit daily meditation with keeping them centered in high-pressure situations. They use mindfulness to focus on the task at hand, rather than getting overwhelmed by future anxieties. Lesson 6. Get active. Exercise is one of the best ways to combat anxiety. When you move your body, you release endorphins, which are natural mood lifters. Physical activity also helps burn off excess adrenaline, which contributes to anxious feelings. Even a short walk can make a huge difference. Next time you feel overwhelmed, step outside and take a brisk 10-minute walk. Not only will the movement help, but being outside and in nature can also reduce anxiety. You don't need a gym membership to benefit from exercise. Whether it's dancing in your living room, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or simply stretching, every little bit counts. Lesson 7. Limit caffeine and sugar. Both caffeine and sugar can amplify feelings of anxiety. Caffeine can make your heart race, and sugar can cause energy crashes, which contribute to mood swings. Start by cutting back on your coffee intake or switching to decaf after midday. Pay attention to how your body reacts. You'll likely notice a reduction in jitteriness and anxious feelings after a few days. If you're craving a sweet treat, try a piece of fruit instead. The natural sugars won't spike your blood sugar in the same way as processed snacks do. Lesson 8. Prioritize sleep. Sleep is critical for mental health. When you're sleep deprived, your body is more vulnerable to anxiety because it's harder to regulate emotions. Establish a nightly routine to signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed, read a calming book, or practice light stretching. Prioritize a consistent sleep schedule to allow your brain to fully recharge. Apps like Calm or Headspace have guided sleep meditations that help quiet the mind and prepare you for restful sleep. Lesson 9. Face your fears. Gradually, avoidance might feel good in the short term, but it feeds anxiety in the long run. Exposure therapy is one of the most effective treatments for anxiety, and it's all about facing your fears one step at a time. If public speaking makes you anxious, start small. Practice talking in front of a mirror, then in front of a friend. Gradually work your way up to larger groups. Each small success will build your confidence and reduce your anxiety. Lesson 10. Connect with others. Social support is crucial in managing anxiety. Opening up to someone you trust can lighten the burden you carry. Often, simply talking about your worries can help you gain perspective. Next time you feel overwhelmed, call a friend or family member. Share how you're feeling. You'll likely find that they've had similar experiences, and knowing you're not alone can be incredibly comforting. Lesson 11. Practice gratitude. When anxiety takes over, it's easy to focus on what's wrong. Shift your focus by practicing gratitude. Even in the most stressful moments, there are things to be thankful for. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a good meal, a sunny day, or a conversation with a friend. Gratitude rewires your brain to focus on positivity. It's a small shift that can have a big impact on your overall mindset and reduce anxiety over time. Lesson 12. Use a worry time technique. It's normal to have worries pop up throughout the day. Instead of trying to suppress them, designate a specific worry time each day. Give yourself 15 to 20 minutes to think about all your worries, then move on. The rest of the day, if a worry arises, remind yourself that it can wait until your designated worry time. This technique helps you gain control over your worries instead of letting them dominate your entire day. You'll find that often, by the time worry time comes, those anxious thoughts don't feel as urgent or overwhelming. Lesson 13. Engage in creative outlets. Creative outlets like writing, painting, or playing music can be a great way to channel anxious energy. When we engage in creativity, we enter a state of flow, which helps the brain focus and reduces anxiety. If you feel anxious, take out a journal and write about your feelings or draw something that represents your current emotional state. You don't need to be an artist. What matters is the act of expressing yourself. Lesson 14. Set boundaries and manage your environment. Anxiety can often be exacerbated by external factors, such as an overwhelming workload or toxic relationships. Learning to set boundaries is key to protecting your mental health. If you're feeling burnt out at work, communicate your needs to your manager. If certain relationships are adding to your stress, it's okay to step back or create some distance. Example, it's not selfish to set boundaries. It's necessary for your mental well-being. By managing your environment, you can minimize triggers that contribute to your anxiety. Lesson 15. Seek professional help when needed. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, anxiety can become too much to handle alone. If you feel like your anxiety is interfering with your day-to-day life, seeking help from a therapist or counselor can provide you with additional tools and support. Therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or talk therapy have helped millions of people learn to cope with anxiety. Remember, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a step toward regaining control. These 15 lessons aren't just tips. They're tools you can use to regain control of your life. Anxiety doesn't have to rule your mind or your day-to-day experiences. If you found these lessons helpful, share them with someone you know who might also be struggling with anxiety. And if you're looking for more strategies and insights, don't forget to subscribe for more content that can help you live your best life.